This is the new 5th generation Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it's a bit of a departure for the model. You see, the previous 4 generations have been relatively affordable, practical family cars with plenty of off-road ability. But Jeep wants this new version to be a luxury car as well. So, can it pull it off? Before we get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the Car Sales channel, and give us your thoughts on the new Jeep in the comments below. The first big change with the new Grand Cherokee is the price. With the Night Eagle kicking off at almost $80,000 before on-road costs, the new model effectively starts where the old one stopped. The variant we're testing here is the $100,000 Overland, which will serve as the flagship until the plug-in hybrid Summit Reserve model arrives later this year. Competitors could include higher spec versions of the Ford Everest and Toyota Prado, but the most obvious rival in terms of price and intent is the Land Rover Defender, our reigning best off-road SUV. The new Grand Cherokee is covered by a 5-year 100,000 kilometre warranty, and the 5-year cap price servicing program is $399 per visit. Intervals are 12 months or every 12,000 kilometres, which is a bit shorter than is typical. Here under the bonnet is the other big change, well, sort of. No more diesel, no more V8, just the carryover 3.6 litre Pentastar V6 attached to an 8-speed auto and all-wheel drive. Now, as you might expect, big engine in a big car means the claimed fuel consumption isn't too flash. 9.9 litres per 100k doesn't sound too bad, but after about 300 k's of very varied driving, currently sitting at 13.1. You're probably familiar with the looks of the new Grand Cherokee, as no doubt you've seen some of the 7-seater L variant on the road already, but the 5-seater is a better looking thing. It's just better proportioned. 8 colours are available, though if you want anything other than white, it's an extra $1,750. And the Overland variant gets the body coloured exterior trim, like these wheel arch surrounds, which is just black on lesser models. One thing I'll mention now and come back to later is that despite being the most expensive variant, the Overland is also the most off-road capable. It has air suspension to raise the ride height, improving your approach, departure and breakover angles and wading depth. Has low range and hill descent control, and you can then add an optional off-road pack with an electronic limited slip diff and a heap of underbody protection. It also gives you 18-inch wheels with all-terrain tyres instead of the standard 20s, so you can choose between function or fashion. This is the really important bit. If Jeep is going to ask top shelf money for the new Grand Cherokee, it has to feel premium inside. It's certainly got plenty of kit. We've got heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, heated steering wheel, dual zone climate control, panoramic sunroof, got this Napa leather trim, and this car is enhanced further by the optional $4,500 luxury tech pack. This adds 12-way adjustable front seats with memory and massage, ventilated rear seats, digital rear view mirror, wireless charging and rear blinds, though those last two are standard on the lesser limited but optional on the Overland. Weird. There are some nice touches like the real metal used for this gear shifter and these toggles, and while it is a bit of a button fest, we can't all complain about everything being jammed into touchscreens and then complain when we've got actual buttons to use. It's pretty busy and crowded, but also pretty easily figured out. Now for the downsides. I don't want to be hearing this sound in a car costing around $115,000 on road. It's all too easy in here to find materials that sound or feel cheap. There's also little details like this door that doesn't always open or shut properly. It's all a question of expectations. If this was the same price as the last Grand Cherokee, I'd probably be going, wow, this interior is really nice. If you're charging an extra 20 grand, different standards apply. Infotainment is taken care of by Jeep's latest Uconnect 5 system on this 10.1-inch display. Wireless CarPlay connecting quickly, and the screen is nice and responsive. Here in the back row, I've got plenty of space, and as mentioned earlier, in this fully loaded test car at least, also lots of kit. I've got heated and ventilated seats, separate aircon controls for each side, 4 USB ports, this 230 volt AC outlet, and there's ISOFIX points on both outboard seats and a trio of top tethers behind me. The Grand Cherokee Overland has a hands-free tailgate that, hey, actually works. It's a nice big area with plenty of space for everything you'd need for a family holiday, but that's about it really. We've got a 12-volt outlet here, basically a full-size steel spare under here. But now, let's see what it's like from behind the wheel. Initial impressions are pretty good, especially in terms of ride comfort. Compared to separate chassis off-roaders like the Toyota Prado or even the Ford Everest, as well as some unibody SUVs like the Nissan Pathfinder, there's better control and greater isolation from the road surface. In layman's terms, pretty comfy car, and quiet too. The steering is quite weighty but quicker and more accurate than you might expect. These all-terrain tyres still give decent grip on the road, and the end result is a car that's pretty relaxing and pleasant to drive. You're certainly not having to chase it all the time, which is quite tiring. As such, you cruise along, being massaged in a warm seat with a warm steering wheel and think, this is nice. But there are a few issues. The engine is okay. It sounds alright for a V6, and it's got decent power, but you don't really need power in a car like this, you need torque. When you want the Grand Cherokee to get up and moving, the gearbox has to work pretty hard, and it's not always the smoothest unit around. Another example, when the stop-start kicks in, usually does so with a bit of a clunk, which isn't the nicest feeling in the world. And then there's the thirst. Admittedly, the 13.5 litres per 100k average now does include a fair bit of off-road driving, but it also includes plenty of highway running as well, so it's probably pretty representative. Speaking of which, when you're cruising at a steady speed, especially 100 k's an hour, there's a vibration's not the right word. It's not that bad. It's like a resonance back through the pedal. It feels like the engine's got cylinder deactivation, even though I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I suspect if they could, Jeep Australia would love to offer a diesel, but there's no longer one to offer. That lack of a diesel does mean that this new Grand Cherokee can only tow up to about 2,800 kilos though, instead of the previous model's 3,500 kilos. Another thing, the lane keep assist doesn't know what to do. I swear, on plenty of occasions I'm driving in the dead centre of the lane. But you can see on the little display down here that it thinks I'm hard up against one of the lines. And then, not only nudges the steering a bit, but then flashes and beeps and goes, stay in your lane. You're like, I'm in my lane. I couldn't be more in my lane. As such, you turn it off, at which point you might as well not have it. I'm aware I've had a bit of a whinge there, and the Grand Cherokee gets plenty of the fundamentals right. For this type of vehicle, it's a pretty good car to drive, but there are lots of little details that frustrate. However, there are two sides to this car, so let's see what it's like off-road, shall we? Now, there's the obvious question of whether anyone will actually take a $100,000 plus SUV off-road, but it's a key part of Jeep's heritage and the marketing of this car. After all, if you tick the off-road pack, you get the trail rated badge on the side of the car. So I'm duty bound to assess its capabilities. The Overland has pretty good off-road smarts. It's got the air suspension to raise the body, it's got the low-range gearbox, hill to sync control. If you tick the off-road box, you get the bash plates and the electronic diff. You've also got the select terrain system. So let me just pull up here. Select neutral, four-wheel drive low. So I've got 5 modes to choose from. Sport, won't need that here. Auto, snow, sand, mud, and rock. So let's just select sand and mud, and I'll run you through the car bit by bit. So the air suspension is really handy. When it's jacked up to its maximum height, even over quite sharp crests, you're not really in any danger of scraping the side steps. If you're curious, it goes up to 276 millimeters of clearance, which is about 40 millimeters more than you get in a Ford Ranger. One thing the Grand Cherokee does lack is proper locking diff. It's got that ELSD obviously, and Traction control works pretty well, but can run out of ideas when the going gets really tough. Also, that is a function of tyres. If this is on more aggressive rubber, it'll be obviously better, whereas if we're on the 20s with road tyres, we'd be absolutely nowhere. I think in standard guise, the Grand Cherokee is pretty good, though I wouldn't necessarily put money on it going where an Everest or a Prado or a Defender could though. I quite like the new Jeep Grand Cherokee. It looks good, is spacious, refined and comfortable, has plenty of kit, drives well on-road and will be capable enough off-road for the vast majority of people. However, look, if the new Grand Cherokee was roughly the same price as the old one, then we'd be having a very different conversation. But as it stands, I just don't see how, in overland guys at least, it justifies the asking price. If you need a proper rugged tourer to go adventuring, you're better off with a Ford Everest or a Toyota Land Cruiser. Better towing capability, better off-road and more space. On the other hand, if you just need a family SUV, then a Kia Sorento, or if you want something a bit fancier, a Mazda CX-90 even, makes a whole lot more sense. One caveat is that the Limited has a lot of the good bits of the Overland, but at a fairly substantial saving. So if you're after a new Grand Cherokee, that's where I'd start shopping. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this review, please give it a like, subscribe to the Car Sales channel, and give us a comment down below with the cars you'd like to see us review.